Alrighty, so I wanted to record a quick video in case there are some of you who never used one of these types of forums before. It might not be the most intuitive thing, and I totally understand. I grew up with these when I was in college in the 90s and the internet first came out. Forums like these became a thing quickly, like around 98, 99, that time frame. It was just a really standard part of the internet, but not everybody uses them, or people might not remember how to use them. So I'm recording this video to give you some examples of how it can be done. So I'm going to come down here to this moderator discussion, which is not like a public thing. And I'm going to just post in here a test post just to show you how you do it. So if you wanted to create a thread under one of those folders, let's come back here to the main thing. So you can see there's general discussion. This is just going to be for any topics that you want to talk about anything. Queries. This is like if you have a specific query that's not surname specific, but you're wondering about something. Maybe it's for multiple surnames, maybe it's for a community, maybe it's for something from history. That would be where the queries go. Surname research is definitely going to be where you put things for certain surnames. In my case, I pulled over some stuff from the old forum, like here. I brought these things over, and what is that? It's stuck an emoji in. It's because this is when you copy and paste. Sometimes things that you have might convert into like little emojis and things like that. Anyway, that's not the main thing. But I've brought some of this stuff over from the old forum. And I also have the old forum linked on the main East Carolina Root site. You can go to it. And I actually linked to the archive.org version, which has a more comprehensive version of the old forum. Okay. So let me go back here and do what I said I was going to do, which is show you how to create a thread. So let's pretend like this is one of these. All right. I'm doing it in here because this way I won't create something crazy in the public view. So if I want to start a new thread about something in this, let's pretend like this is the queries forum. Okay. I'm just going to come up here and click on create thread, and then I'm going to give it a subject. Who is John Doe? Who is John Doe of Pitt County circa? Okay, I don't know of any John Doe of Pitt County circa 1775, but I'm just giving it a subject to show you how to do this. Now, by default for me, I don't know if it's going to be like this for everyone because I only know on my own computer in my browser, it's putting me in the code view. The code view is going to be super plain and boring. So if I wrote, I have a question about John Doe of Pitt County. Was he an ECU Pirate fan? Okay, yes, silly, I know. So that's just like super boring. It's just code. There's nothing here like, and if you, let's say you said I want to make this bold, you could do this and you come up here and do this, but it's confusing. That I know what these things are because I know HTML, but like I don't expect everyone to. And fortunately, you don't have to. I'm going to get rid of this little bit of code. All you have to do is come down here before you even start typing and click on preview. All right, so as soon as you do that, then all of a sudden you have your regular way of doing this, and then it's going to be more in like what they call WYSIWYG, which means what you see is what you get. So what you're doing here is going to look more like you're going to expect it to look. So if I highlighted that and I wanted to make it bold, I could do that. I could make it italics. I could underline it. I could strike through. I'm going to undo all those things. If I wanted to make something superscript, like making, like saying 150 degrees, I might want to make this little thing here a superscript. That's not technically how you would do that, but like if you wanted to, you could do that. Subscripts would be this one right here. That's good if you're doing something that you want to add notes for. And so you would, like, let's say, if I said, was he a ECU Pirate fan? Yes, he was. See this article right here. And let's say I'm going to have a lot of sources. So then I might do one and I'll highlight this and I'll say this, and that would be like a subscript. And then I could go in the footer down at the bottom and I could say, okay, well, I don't want this to be a subscript anymore though. So I'm going to undo that and say, this is the article right here. So then that's how I would do that. And like I said, this could either be You could either do it superscript or you could do it subscript, just like that. All right, so then let's see, that's to go completely get rid of formatting. And let's see, you see here, you've got the left align, center, right align. If you want everything to be just spread out, you can do that. You can add a table. That would be if you wanted to have something that's got like multiple columns, and let's say you wanted to have so many rows. If you wanted to have a border, you can do that and say insert table, and then you can go in and you can type what you want to type and put the different things in the different columns. For those of you who do know anything about HTML, you can always go in the code and you'll see how it's written and you can adjust from there. You can give it borders and colors and all that, but I know most people don't do that, and that's okay. So I'm coming back to the preview mode. Now, one thing people are going to wonder about is, okay, let's say you want to link something. So let's say I wanted to link this. Let's say this is something that is going to, this article right here. So what I did was I just highlighted it and I clicked right here on this little thing that looks like a globe, because back in the day, whenever you saw that, you knew that meant a link on the internet. So you click on this and then you would put your link in here. So I would say East Carolina Roots.com article right here, which is not actually a thing that exists, but let's pretend it is. So then it has the link. Now, what if you wanted to add an email address? So if I wanted to add my email address, the one that I put for y'all to email me if you need something about the forum, I can do that. And I can highlight it and I can do this, and it's going to make it a mail to link. This is an href, like just regular website link, and this is a mail to link. So that's what the difference is there. Then if you wanted to insert a picture, you would think you can just do this. And if you already have a picture that's online somewhere in a public place, you can just put the link here. There are a couple of sites where you can host images and then copy those links to paste in. I will include some of the options for that in the notes for this video. But another thing you can do, which is probably just as easy, is to say add attachment. So if you like, let's say you want to have a picture here, say add attachment, and then you say add files, and then I'm going to try to find a picture of the beach. I've got some smaller ones on here that I could use. Oh, I tell you what, I'll use this picture of Sound Days Hardware across the street. So, and then it gives you an option once you've uploaded it, and just say insert. And then you say done. So then you've got that. Now, right, it's going to be small, and that's okay. It's going to be small because let's say you upload an enormous picture. You don't want it like being some massive thing in here in the post itself, but instead when people click on the post, they'll be able to click on the image and it'll bring up a large version of it. So inserting a video would be an option. This would be like if you wanted to insert a YouTube video, you would just be able to come down here and you could click on that, and you'd put your URL in for the video. Now here it tells you the different services that are available that you could choose from. YouTube and Vimeo are going to be the two biggest ones, but as you see, Facebook is not here, X is not here, Instagram is not here. They are very careful about how they let things link out from their sites. But and then let's see, this is if you wanted to tag another member. So like if you already have seen that there's somebody who's been discussing something, or if it's a thread with a lot of people in it and you want to respond to somebody's in particular, then you can insert their username here and that will link the thing to them. Let's see. I don't think too many of you are going to be inserting code. If so, you don't need these instructions. You'll know what to do. Inserting a quote, like if you're getting something from an earlier part of the thread that's not already quoted in here, you would be able to just use this to put the quote in, and it'll indicate that it's a quote from somewhere else. Then you've got your little emojis. It gives you a whole catalog of them. Remember this, for those of you who are old enough, you definitely have to remember these. These were like the little default smileys that we all had, whether we were using Mirabilis ICQ or we were using AOL Instant Messenger or whatever the case was. And so let's see, add attachments. I'm going to stick this back in there. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say create thread. So now that I've gotten everything in here and I'm like, oh yes, I'm happy with this. Oh, let me make this. There's a typo, y'all. I just noticed. I'm so embarrassed. Let's say I wanted to make this a color. I'm going to make it purple. All right. So that'll make that text purple. And then if I want to make it bold, I can do that. So then I can click on create thread and then look, here's the post right here. So if I come back to the moderator discussion, I'll see my new post right here. I can click on it. I see what I've written. I see that colored text. I see the link to the non-article. And then if I click on this, it's going to show me the full size version of that picture. So that's exactly how you post new posts to the East Carolina Roots Forum. If a post already exists and you want to reply, then you can just come right down here to reply and start typing a reply. So let's say this is a reply, post quick reply. So then there's that. Now, if I wanted to go in and edit that, I would be able to. Then it gives you more formatting things, but you got to get the reply started first. And you can go back to the preview version if you reply and then you go and you edit and you tweak it as you need to. But in any case, I hope that this is helpful. I do want to see folks start posting on this forum. I think that as it was on the old site, this has the potential to help connect a lot of people who are researching similar names and things like that. We definitely have more members now than we did yesterday. Yesterday we had less than 10 and now we have 32. The old forum had a few hundred members. Actually, at one point it had a few thousand members, and unfortunately most of them were Chinese and Russian bots. And so that was one of the reasons I shut the old forum down, because it was just nearly impossible to parse through everything and clean everything up. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Just you can send me an email. And thank you so much for watching.